All right, folks, it's Sherman Ray, and this is the Livin in Vegas podcast. Time to get the show on the road. Let's go. And welcome, everybody. This is Sherman Ray, and this is the Livin in Vegas podcast. We come to you each and every day, Monday through Friday. Talk about the people, the places, the trends, the events that shape the city of Las Vegas. And thank you, folks, for being a part of the show today. Had a really busy day yesterday after the podcast. We'll talk a little bit about that in just a minute, but I want to welcome everybody who's with us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, that kind of stuff. Matter of fact, I'm on our Facebook group page right now, and I think there's actually an event coming up next week. Large Vision is doing something over at, they're doing another event. Yes, they are. Tickets are on sale there, which is great. They're actually generally free tickets, so you can actually check those out, which is cool. But you can go to our website, or excuse me, our Facebook page, and check that out. Paula Jackson posted something just recently. I'm going to like that right now, as a matter of fact. We had a busy day yesterday. Right after the show yesterday, I had to run out of here. Usually, we're able to do some posting and that kind of stuff and get the podcast up on Spotify, that kind of thing. And literally had no time at all because within like 20 minutes after that, actually I had to do another interview. And we're gonna talk a little bit about. I'm actually going to show a snippet of it. It's going to be really special because we'll do snippets of it for the next week or so of an interview I did with a guy by the name of Richard Ferris, and so you'll love it. It'll be cool. You'll enjoy it. Trust me on this one. Of course, the magazine, Livin in Vegas magazine, is up and running. You can go to our website, livininvegas.com, and check that out. This particular magazine, we actually had a contributing writer be a part of this one. Her name is Robin Campbell Ochita, and she had a really cool article about Water Street. So, Robin, her past in Las Vegas is famous. It's synonymous with being famous, and so I asked her to be a contributing writer, and she said yes, which was just when you get a great writer, you go, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. And so Robin is in this magazine. You'll actually get to check that out. She's written an article about Water Street. On the cover, of course, we've got our friends Kristen and Greg Berta from Junk Luggers, and they've got a fantastic story. We had a great interview with them. Advertisers all through there. Bin 702. Many of you have heard of Bin 702. They're a brewery, restaurant, a kind of a Asian fusion restaurant, which we're very excited about having them on there. And other articles that we'll talk about more and more as the weeks go on. But we'd love for you, if you want to check out our magazine, folks, go to our website at livininvegas.com. It's livininvegas.com. And you can actually check out our magazine. You can actually even download a PDF copy of the magazine, or you can flip through it. You can just actually flip through it on the page if you want. You can just read the entire thing online. Or, like a lot of people do now, they just download the thing, and they're able to take it with them, and it's free. I mean, it's free of charge. You can actually check that out, which is very cool. And if you're online right now, if you're on our Facebook page or on our Livin Weekly page, which is always fun, you can I'll actually talk to you. I don't know how much I'll talk to you, but I'll talk a little bit to you. So I want to welcome you if you come on the page and give you a little shout out if you've got your business going on. And we'll talk to you a little bit also on that page, especially on the Livin Weekly page. We've got a lot of people. I know a lot of people are going, what the heck is Livin Weekly all about? Well, Livin Weekly is the sister of Livin in Vegas magazine. And so we'll talk a little bit about that in just a second. Okay. If you don't have time to download the website, the web page, you don't have time to go to our website, send me an email. And all you've got to do is send me an email at info@livininvegas.com, and we will actually put you on our mailing list, and you can actually get a hold of all the stuff that we've talked about all week long, because I know it's a lot of information to take in. So at your leisure, you can actually do all these things and get on our mailing list, and you can be a part of all of that stuff. Okay? All right. So, and lastly, folks, we've got an event coming up, which is actually coming up Thursday, in a couple more days. That's right. It's called the Happy Hour. It's a business networking mixer. It's over at the Horse Trailer Hideout, 1506 South Main Street in Las Vegas, Nevada, 89101. So you come out there Thursday, about 5:30 to about 7 o'clock. We're going to be drinking beer, talking smack, making a lot of connections, because it's a business, it's a networking mixer. It's a real networking mixer, and you can actually come out there and enjoy it. We're already planning our next one already, because we're always weeks ahead of and stuff like that. But come on out to the Happy Hour, and we will leave a link to this event on our Facebook page, so you can actually check that out, which is great. I really encourage you to register for any of our events. Just register for them. That gives us a way of knowing who's going to be there. We can actually, because we generally have food trucks there, that kind of stuff. I want to thank Audrey May and Mr. Shapiro from our friends over at Beers with Friends for just being our partners on this and setting up all of these events. They really do. They do a great job on this. They take the load off. They're part of the team. They're doing their part, and we could not do all that we do without all of our partners and all the people that are working with us, with Livin in Vegas magazine and Livin Weekly, that kind of stuff. So, I want to take the time to thank Nap Sugar and Gilda Graham, who's our sales and marketing director, for all the stuff that they're doing too. And we'll talk more about that and more of the cool stuff that's going on in the Valley in just a second, folks. So I don't know about you folks, but I am ready for opening of the baseball season. That's right, folks. The Las Vegas Aviators starting it off tonight, folks. They're going to be out at the ballpark out in Summerlin, and they're going to be playing against Reno this afternoon. Game starts about 7 o'clock. You can actually get tickets still. Actually, the game starts 7:05. And it'll be their first homestand, 6-game series against the Reno Aces, playing from Tuesday through Sunday. So all games are starting about 7:05. So the cool thing about the Aviators is not only that they're our hometown boys, but that Courtney Langer, who is the wife of Russ Langer, who is the voice of the Aviators, is going to be calling the game. So very excited about that. Russ is such a nice guy. I mean, he really is. He's been the voice of the Aviators ever since they've existed. But he also was with them before they were the Aviators. They were the 51s. They were the Stars. He was there all that time, and he just won an award. What was it? A couple months ago? Yeah, I think he won just a couple months ago for being, just the bad boy, just being the best at what he does as an announcer. He also does the announcing for UNLV's games, and so we're very excited and very happy to call him a friend. And his wife Courtney wrote an article for our first issue of Livin in Vegas. And so we've got this great connection. Love them, and they are just fantastic. I love their little son, and they're just fantastic. So go on out to the game, folks. Going out to the game. It's a 6-game homestand, and they're going to be playing 6 games against Reno starting tonight. So it should be really fun. The weather is going to be balmy. Beer will be flowing, and they have all these specials that are going on. We'll actually leave a link to this on our website. It's actually on there already. But you can see a link to all of the Aviator games. Just kind of scroll down the front page of the Livin in Vegas page, and you can actually check that out. It's just they're going to be doing some real cool things. Like so they actually give bobbleheads away. I'm looking at their page right now, so that's why I'm kind of looking away right now. But they have a bobblehead night. Of course, they do all kinds of cool stuff. I mean, they really do. What a great opportunity to be a part of Vegas history with the Aviators. We love local sports here, folks. Also, the Palms is opening back up, folks. Yay! The Palms closed 2020 when they shut everything down. It was like July of 2020. They shut down. They shuttered their doors, and they are finally going to be opening up again. There was a press release issued, and they're opening up the 27th, and it's the official public opening date for the property. Rooms, suites, reservations are now being accepted for stays beginning on the 28th. Okay, so so what's so iconic about the Palms is that the Palms is going to be the first. They're making history as the first Indian tribe-owned casino on or off the Strip. So I think you get that. So they were bought during the time that they were closed by San Manuel Gaming, and they had just gone through a renovation. I mean, they'd just gone through a renovation the year before. I know this is true. $600 million, folks, that they plunked into this property, and it's a nice place. There's no doubt about it. And next year they got shut down, so they basically got a brand new building, and so the resort has a big pool area, 73,000 square foot space, offering 2 luxurious main pools, 39 cabanas. Yeah, very cool. And most of those cabanas have their own little pool, so you can have your little jacuzzi there. So April 27th, they're actually opening up, and they've been closed for like 2 years. So I drive by the Palms all the time. All the time. I pretty much at least once or twice a week I drive by the Palms, and it's almost scary, especially when it was closed completely. Got barricades out there because right across the street from the Palms, I mean, there's the Gold Coast, but right up the street a little bit is the Rio, and the Rio was closed too. It's like, oh my gosh, all these places are closed. It's crazy, the amount of stuff that is closed, but they're coming up back up, so we're very excited about that, and very cool. So we'll be right back. Hi, Sherman Ray for Livin in Vegas podcast. Are you a business owner that's looking to get the word out about his product, service, or even just a great message out there? Well, we'd like to give you that opportunity by being a guest on Livin in Vegas podcast. It's super simple. All you've got to do is contact us at advertising@livininvegas.com. That's advertising@livininvegas.com, and we'll schedule you for an interview on Livin in Vegas podcast. I'm Sherman Ray for Livin in Vegas podcast, where we talk about the people, the places, the trends, and the events that shape the city of Las Vegas. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. All right. And folks, we want to remind you, if you are a business owner and you'd like to help underwrite being a part of Livin Vegas podcast, this podcast is played all over the world. It really is. I'm very excited about the fact that not only are we on Facebook and YouTube, Twitter, that kind of stuff, but we're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, which means we're played all over the place. And you can be a part of it. In addition, we just partnered with a really pretty large organization, and now our mailing list is pretty darn big. So, I mean, it's really, oh yeah, it's huge now. So, you being a part of what we're doing over here at Livin in Vegas is just, you're doing yourself a favor, especially for the price. We specially reduced the price so that we could make it attractive to business owners, and we want to help you out. We really want to help everybody out. You help us become part of our family. We'll become part of your family. We're family. We're going to, we're doing that thing. Okay. We mentioned earlier about Livin Weekly magazine, and definitely want to let you know about that. Livin Weekly magazine is our weekly. It's our weekly It's our weekly magazine. Many folks cannot wait till get Livin in Vegas magazine, and we are so excited about Livin in Vegas magazine. So we decided, hey, let's make two. Let's make something that they're different kinds of magazines. They really are. So the Livin Weekly magazine is really it's a short snapshot of all the things that are going on during the week, and so you're going to actually hear about some of the top restaurants that are going on, some of the top people that are in the valley, that kind of thing, in Livin Weekly. But you'll get to hear that every week because it's very tough to keep up with all the stuff that's going on in Las Vegas. I know, I do it every day, and I've been doing it for years. So if it's tough for me, it's got to be tough for you. So, as a matter of fact, we just brought on to our writing staff Shelly Stepanek, and Shelly is she's a dynamite lady. She's a writer. She's has her own company that she runs. She's been writing for years in foodie magazines, that kind of stuff. So she's going to be talking about some of the food, some of the restaurants that are here. That's going to be really cool. If I'm lucky, I can talk Audrey May, who is our resident beer expert, our beer aficionado, her and Mr. Shapiro over at Beer's Friends. I'm going to see if I can talk Audrey back into writing a weekly thing for us in Livin Weekly to talk about some of the craft brew places because they're cool. I mean, we are in craft brew places all the time, but there's so many of them. Which one should you go to? Really? Which one should you go to? So we're going to see if we can talk to Audrey. So let her know, folks, if you see her, because I haven't told her yet. So if you see her before I do, tell her, hey, Sherm's going to ask you to do a weekly thing for Livin Weekly, and it's going to be about beer because she's there all the time anyway. She does a great job. Okay. If you are an advertiser, you'd like to be, part of the whole Livin Weekly magazine, I really encourage you. Just go ahead and send me. Sorry, why do I keep doing this? I don't know why. You can actually send. There it goes. So you can actually send me an email to Livin Weekly, info@livinweekly.com. Okay, info@livinweekly.com. That's not that one. There it is. info@livinweekly.com. Okay, and you can actually be a part of that. You can get in on that and get out to a lot of people. Literally, it's going to be fun. We're just having so much fun with this whole thing, and we really encourage you to be a part of the whole Livin family. Okay. So what else is going on in the valley? Oh gosh, we got the NFL draft coming up, folks. Yeah, we do. Oh yeah, NFL draft is coming up, and if you've not checked out the NFL draft before, folks, this is pretty cool stuff. So this is some video of the combine, some of the quarterbacks that are out there just throwing it out to their guys. Well, the NFL draft is actually coming, I think it's on the 28th of the month. Yeah, I think it's on the 28th of the month. And so you're going to actually be able to see some of the future NFL stars. I mean, you're going to be able to see some bad boys out there. It's going to be very cool. I think they're already starting to set up the strip. They're going to do some enclosures on the strip. So you're going to see a lot of changes in the next couple of weeks because of the amount of people that are coming into the valley. We have so many things going on in the valley. I mean, if I don't really have time to elaborate on every one of them, I could probably just rattle through them. But there's some things that you need to know about. NFL draft is big deal. It's our number one sport in the nation. We have the NFL draft. We had the Pro Bowl here just a couple of weeks ago. We have the NHL All-Star Game. We're going to have the Super Bowl here on the next year, the 24th, so 2024. So we are literally the best thing ever. We're the prettiest girl at the prom right now, folks. I don't know if there's another way to say it. We are the prettiest girl at the prom right now, and everybody wants to be a part of Las Vegas. There's absolutely no way that, I don't know if you can put it any other way. I just don't. It's we're just having a great time. So very excited about the fact that that we're gonna have the Pro Bowl here, and what else are you gonna do? Also, this weekend there's a great event coming up, and I don't know if some of you have even heard about this before. It's the second annual Highland Games. Yeah, it's really very cool. Yeah, the Highland Games. It's going to be over at Floyd Lamb Park, and can you see this? Guy's throwing a yeah, they're throwing stuff, trees or big poles that they're going to be throwing for the Highland Games. And so it's the second annual Highland Games, and it's going to be out at Floyd Lamb Park. It starts on Saturday about 9 o'clock, and it's going to last forever. I mean, it's so the cool thing about the Highland Games is not only that it's just a cool event to be a part of, but that it's something that's normally in Scotland. So Scotland, we have actually a pretty deep history with Scotland here in Las Vegas, and it's so kind of neat that they would actually bring that kind of that kind of influence here to Las Vegas. So once again, we'll leave tickets, or we'll leave the link to the Highland Games, because they're selling tickets. There's all kinds of festivities going on, all kinds of. It's funny that the Scots throw a lot of stuff. I know, it's just for throwing trees, throwing anchors, throwing big cinder blocks, picking up rocks, throwing them, stacking stones, that kind of stuff. And that's just kind of the whole, the whole thing. Whereas in, other places, they do other things. So the Highland Games is very cool. So you can actually check that out. So there was, I don't know if you heard about this. There's a couple of things I want to make sure I get in here, folks. Up in northern Nevada. Now this is actually serious. It really is very serious. I'm gonna get serious for just a second. There's actually an animal called a Dixie toad. Take a look at. Stop what you're doing right now. Take a look at what this is. It's called a Dixie toad. What's so special about a Dixie toad? Well, it has miraculously become endangered, and they issued an emergency declaration to stop a geothermal plant from moving forward because of this toad. Sorry, it's right there. The Dixie Valley toad is an endangered species, and they said they're having 60 days of public comment. We're going to leave the link to this because some people really are just very jacked up about this. They're saying, hey, we've got to save the toad. Yes, we want power. We want to live, but we don't want to endanger a species. When I was a kid, so this is very interesting. Now, this is up in northern Nevada. So this is not in Vegas, but it's northern Nevada. But I think it's still relevant to what we do here in Vegas. When I was a kid, we would never see toads unless it was getting ready to flash flood. Okay? We wouldn't see toads until it was going to flood, and when it did, generally you saw toads everywhere because you could see them in the washes. There's washes all up and down the valley. They start in Mount Charleston, and they kind of flow down through the city, and they end up in the wash down the east end of the valley. And you would see these guys, you would see these guys right here everywhere. And I have not seen a toad since I was a kid. I mean, since I was a kid. And so I think it's really relevant that we, that if you've got public comment that you've got something to say about the toads, say something, okay? Because they say that they're only known to exist in one place on the planet, and that's up in this area up in Reno. It's not Reno, but it's up in northern Nevada area. So, yeah, conservationists are checking it out. and they want to make sure that everybody knows what they're doing, and this geothermal plant, this power plant, generates hot water, and it's beneath the earth. So they're bringing all this up. It could kill these guys. I mean, there's just no way it could kill it. On a same note, Republic Services, and I know this is kind of wonky, but Republic Services, many of you know these guys as the trash guys. They're doing something that has not been done ever by any other company who recycles materials. So normally what happens, you take your recyclable stuff, split it up. Yeah, of course, that's what I do. And you split up your stuff, your plastics, your papers, your all this other stuff. You split it all up. Republic Services comes by. They take it. Part of it goes to the landfill. Part of it goes to here. Part of it. And the plastic generally gets shipped across the country to some other recycling plant. Well, Republic Services just announced they're not going to do that anymore. They're going to be doing all of it here. They're going to have a plastics processing plant out over in North Las Vegas. And so they're going to be doing everything here, which is just a phenomenal. This will probably start a trend nationwide. It probably will. We send, as America, we used to send all of our bottles to China. Okay? Then the Chinese got bougie, and they said, no, we don't want your stuff. We're too cool now. And so now they're literally floating barges, big as cities, floating around in the ocean of plastic that need to be recycled somehow. And so we need to do our part as people who live in a desert, because that's what we do. We need to be, we should probably be the poster children for recycling, for green energy, that kind of stuff. I'm not a green tree hugging guy. I'm not that guy. Okay. But I am a big steward of my. I really believe in taking care of where you're at. Okay. If we can recycle everything that we have, I'm all for it. And I think you, as people who are living here in Las Vegas, would probably agree with me that that's what we should do. We should actually we should continue to recycle everything we possibly can. So the Silver Knights, folks, guess what? I think we forget the Silver Knights half the time. The Silver Knights actually won yesterday, and they're on a roll. They beat the Ice Hogs 4-1. Yes, they did. So we're very cool. So the Rockford Ice Hogs, we beat them Monday over at the Dollar Loan Center, and I think that's our first win over the Dollar at the Dollar Loan Center. And so we're playing again tonight, which is cool. And so these are kind of highlights of what happened yesterday at the game. And this is boom, there we go. Great goal right there. So that put us up in the game, and we won the game 4-1 as it was. So very cool that we were able to do that. And I think we're going to be so today the Henderson Silver Knights are playing against Rockford again. Started about 7:00. So and it's tough. The tough thing is you can. It's hard to see the games. I love watching hockey. And who would have thunk that we live in a day and age where we're living to see hockey, but we did. And last, I'm going to let you know about this. The Nighthawks. Okay, our Vegas Nighthawks. They won also. Yeah, they did. And so we're very excited about our Vegas Nighthawks. Vegas Nighthawks beat Bay Area 53-27. Oh yeah, we're doing good, folks. We've got all kinds of, and so for those of you who don't know who the Nighthawks are, they are our indoor football league team, and they're doing awesome. And they're going to be out of town for I think another game. That they'll be out of town for, and then they'll come back home. But that'll be very, very cool. Want to remind you again, folks, about the Livin in Vegas magazine. We're so excited about it. Please, please, please take some time, go to our website, check it out. And we are going to be talking more and more about that, especially about all of the cool stuff that's in the magazine. You can it's a free download, so you can download the magazine anytime you want, folks, and you'll enjoy it. Really, just go to our website at livinvegas.com and you can check that out. We will talk a little bit more about our interview that we're going to be showing probably Thursday, I would assume. And I think you're going to really enjoy the interview that we just taped yesterday with Richard Ferris, who took a trip to Poland. He did. Yeah, I know. It's real cool. We'll see you again tomorrow, folks, where we'll talk about the people, the places, the trends, and the events that shape the city of Las Vegas. We're the Livin in Vegas podcast. It's been Sherman Ray. We'll see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.